Hello, welcome to another dark mode mission. Today I'm playing King of the Mountain, which was Spoonman's second dark mode mission after Full Moon Fever, and I really enjoyed this one. Its setting is one of the most intriguing I've seen in any fan mission. So let's begin and find out what it's all about. Originally serving as a military outpost for a war that never was, and then being abandoned for decades, Blue Rock Prison was at some point given to the order of the Builder, to run a prison for the city's most renowned criminals. Its secluded location in the mountains, making any serious attempts of escape too dangerous to be considered, as most would perish to the elements before reaching any sort of civilization. I've been serving here for the better part of the past 4 years, but it wasn't until some weeks ago that I made up my mind to leave for good. Word around here is the Order has forsaken the place, and since we are completely dependent on them sending us supplies at regular intervals during the year, we started slowly starving to death. First only us prisoners, now even the builders. I've recently been transferred from my regular cell to what they call an isolation cell underground. I managed to grab the key to the cells from my jailer without him noticing me, and plan to break out as soon as possible. Getting out through the front gate would be suicide, but I happen to know there is access to the sewers nearby that connects directly outside. I have to get moving now. Summer is about to end, and being out in the mountains in winter would be my death. Once I'm out, my chances of survival are dim, but I'd rather take the risk than starve to death in this godforsaken hole. Right, so on any difficulty, our only objective is escape from Blue Rock Prison, and this will literally be our only objective for the entire mission. We're not gonna get any new ones. And completing it is pretty straightforward. The door to the sewers is not far from a starting cell, and to unlock it we have to pickpocket a builder guard who patrols the top floors of the prison. So that's it. Okay, before I leave my cell, I'm gonna take my stash of loot hidden behind the wall here. One of the later readables will explain what this loot is and how it got here, but we have 760 worth of valuables here. There we go. I'm not gonna try to place the bricks back into the wall because it'll just take forever. Let me show you a few things. This cheater is to be left to starve until he decides to return his ill-gained goods. No more beatings. Okay, and this is not where we have to go, but there is one more readable I want to show you. So here is a staircase leading up to the second floor of the prison. But we cannot take this one, because there is a guard sitting right there and he never moves. There is a readable next to him, which I wanna get. He'll probably catch me, but that doesn't matter, I'm gonna reload anyway.
Does something move?
I know you have been taking part in letting prisoners out to participate in boxing matches and card games with some of the other jailers. If you decide to tell me who else was behind those betting schemes, I'll let this pass. If you don't, you will be joining brothers Randall and Dallin in the isolation cells for a full year. Okay. So where we actually have to go is right here. And take the door to the left of this rack. Now, the door to the sewers, which we'll have to eventually take, is to the left of that guillotine, so we'll have to come back here later. We also start without any equipment whatsoever, not even a blackjack. Not that it matters to me, because I never use it anyway. But if you want one, you can find it in the mission, so I'll show you where you can get it.
My flesh is but raw metal. I am forged by the trials of the Master Builder.
Here can access the Earth Tunnel, which connects 3 places around the prison. It can be a nice way to move around, but I'm not gonna use it. So here we are at the top of that staircase, so we've successfully passed that guard. In this cell, there's a bottle of wine for some reason, total 870. I'm still using the stealth tool. So I'm gonna be keeping an eye on it. Let me make my first real save here. And I wanna show you a few more things. Brother Drogo is to remain locked until he comes down and returns the key to the compound. Okay, so that's Brother Drogo then. There is a readable next to him, which I wanna get. But that's a little tricky, because you basically have to get caught by him.
Movement.
Okay. Where could you be, my Bobo dear? Never to see you again is all I fear. The halls feel now so empty at night, without a bright white fur shining so bright. I found you on a somber autumn day, lying supine on a pile of hay. Could my visions of you be real? You looked like a... Okay, this guy seems to have lost it. There's also a mushroom next to him. If you can take a note of that, we're gonna see a lot more of those mushrooms.
Tis something.
And over here is one of the ways we can get to the actual first floor of the building, so we were still in the basement. And this leads to the boxing ring. Now I'm not gonna go this way, I'm just showing you this as a point of reference. This giant builder symbol can be a nice landmark. Actually, I'm gonna load this one.
Lord Builder, bless my hands and my tools, that I might do great works in thy name for thy glory. Amen.
Here we have a purse, a total of 920, a couple more mushrooms. And this will be our way up. Here we have a first hint of this actually being a daylight mission. And I really like this visual here. I think the contrast between the dark halls of the prison and bright light coming in through the windows looks really nice. Love it. the first thing we're gonna do here is visit one of the cell blocks and get a piece of loot. Now, this guy doesn't really look like a builder guard, does he? That's actually one of the prisoners. And you might be asking, why is he not in a cell and freely roaming about the place? Well, we're gonna find out a little later. But the builders and the prisoners are actually friendly. These cell doors are really tricky to highlight for some reason.
I am forged by the trials of the Master Builder.
Here we have the barracks, the purse, more mushrooms, and another one on the table, 3 coin stacks, total 1014, and readable. Anyone I find in possession of one of those mushrooms will be spending a full month in an isolation cell. Interesting. So this is just the bathroom, nothing in there. So there is the giant builder symbol I showed you earlier, so that's the stairwell down to the prisons. And here on the table are 2 pieces of loot. I'm gonna have to wait for that guy I just saw to come in here. Go. 1099. Here is the boxing ring. There's one more piece of loot to get here. Is 1179. Here we have a study of sorts. First of all, there is a purse and 2 bottles of wine. Total 14.49. And 3 readables. It seems Brother Drogo has finally snapped. He has locked us all inside, excepting Brother Clerk and a few others who were outside the compound walls at the time, before lashing out at everyone in his path for taking Bobo away from him. We restrained him and put him in an isolation cell for the time being. He has apparently swallowed the key to the main gate, and I've had to stop the inmates and our own kind as well from gutting him like a fish. What do we do now? I found Jerry running through his stuff, later confessing that the key to the sewers was what he was after. He was freaking out at the thought of spending an hour more inside this place, and wants out even if it means dooming us all in the process. He will listen to no warnings. You should probably keep that key on you at all times until this matter is resolved. We can hear them clawing at the door all day long. Their moans are driving us mad. We fear the door will not hold on for much longer, and will be fighting undead on our holes. We are too famished and weak, and the thought of this happening sends shivers down our spine, and takes even our sleep away from us. We have gathered all the holy water in the compound, and keep a watch on the door all day long. Yet this feeling of unrest will not go away. We have to do something now. Right. So let's keep exploring the first floor. In this closet you can find some equipment, most notably some water arrows. I'm gonna visit another cell block here. Here are 2 purses, 15.49, and a note with some names and figures. So I believe this was our cell before we got transferred to the isolation cell downstairs. And there is one more readable later that'll have some evidence of this. Oh, that's way too late. Kinda have to wait for this guy to move the other way. Okay, gonna make another real save here. In this room, we have a lot of lore and a piece of loot. Trophy, total 17.99. So there are some readables in this sacks with grain for some reason. Dear Mother, I hope this letter finds you well. Last winter has been rough, probably one of the coldest in decades. The Order has again sent us no supplies, and we have to get by with what little we had left and what we could scrounge from the mountains. Few of us remain in the building. The focus of interest has shifted to the work in the mines. 6 prisoners have found their demise, and our high priest is so ill I doubt he's going to make it to the end of the month. My brothers have thought it wasteful to give the prisoners proper burials, and have decided instead to dump their bodies in the sewers, despite my words against it. I hope you are doing fine, and don't mean to worry you, but I can't stand this place a week longer, and wish nothing but to go back home. Sonnet. We haven't had much to eat this past couple of months. The Order seems to have forgotten about us and left us to our own devices. We have been organizing hunting parties to try and get something to eat, but our efforts so far have proven fruitless. Brother Conrad managed to get close enough to a deer last week, but the beast figured out his intentions before he could deliver the blow, and ran off, never to be seen again. None of us can fire an arrow straight despite practicing almost daily with bows we get from the evidence depository. Growing crops in this terrain is remarkably difficult, and the only solid food we can regularly get are berries from the bushes, which make us ill, and mushrooms from the ravine. Please take this letter to Brother Wainwright. He's the only one I think will care enough to help us. Norman. After being absent for a full season, a caravan from the Order showed up today with supplies. You know what they brought? 4,000 pounds worth of machine parts and tools for the mines, and food and provisions for only about 6 months. They are not showing up for another year, I know it. We can keep this place running till the end of times, but we'll starve to death until we send help. Please, R. Brother Whittle, it seems another year without the Order showing up. Prisoners have been left out of their cells and are free to roam about the halls. At first, they would only be left out briefly to participate in games organized for our own amusement to deal with the boredom of routine. Then they would be allowed out for extended periods of time to help out during the winter month as a reward for working in the mines. But some of my brothers have taken a liking to them, and nowadays they just roam about the place at all times, and no one seems to care. I don't trust them. How can my brothers be so comfortable with the prospect of having convicted criminals hanging about while they sleep? But Brother Drogo is the only one trying to maintain some semblance of order in the compound, and I fear his actions will bring him the wrath of our own. Dear Eben, you have to try some of this stuff. Once I'm home, we can set up shop and start selling these. We'll be rich. P.S. You can let Father try them too. Right, so that explains a few things about this prison. And like I said, I find it really intriguing, the setting of this mission. Because this prison is such a disaster that the prisoners have been left out, or let out, of their cells and become friends with the jailers, which is pretty absurd. And the fact that they have no food
Something stir?
and are forced to snack on the local mushrooms is a nice detail. And those mushrooms seem to have changed their
My
minds.
hammer doth call for thee.
Case in point, nobody leaves or enters this
Hand,
place
hammer.
until
I
Bobo
do serve
is
the
returned to
Lord
me.
Bobo. Have at thee!
Okay, I wasn't sure why he was standing in front of the door. But I'll wait for him to come back.
When are they gonna send someone to release me? Feels like I've been here for all hours.
Bunch of loot in here. Well, 2134. If I'm a little faster, I can make it. So above ground, the prison actually looks more like a monastery, which I also really like. Pieces of loot in this closet, total 2264.
My flesh is but raw metal. I am forged by the trials of the Master Builder.
Candlestick, total 2304. My concern for Brother Drogo is growing bigger each day. Since High Priest Alder passed away, his behavior has become increasingly more erratic. You are probably aware now of Bobo, that magic animal he apparently found in the forest and can speak to him, yet none of us had ever seen or heard except for inmate Trellan, who I have strong reason not to believe. He's become extremely paranoid of everyone, suspecting of their schemes to take Bobo away from him. I fear for his safety, and our own. Were he to be relieved of his duties and allowed to spend some time somewhere where he can gather his wits, I'd wager it would prove beneficial to all of us. We have enough problems as it is, H. One more candlestick here, total 2344. And this should be it for the first floor, at least for now. There's still the kitchen, but I'm gonna
Does something move?
hit the kitchen later. So here is the central courtyard, which we saw from the other side. I wanted to show you this place, but I got attacked by the builder there, so I had to reload. So this is the only outside area in this mission. It looks pretty neat. Okay, no time for sightseeing though. We get back to the main hall, the first floor, so we were here a little earlier. We can take the stairwell up. Over there is a giant mushroom. We'll get a close look at it a little later. And here is the second floor. Now, this is where I'm gonna pickpocket
'Tis something.
that guy who has the sewer key. I wanna scout ahead where he is. So I'm gonna reload after this.
Doth something stir?
Pretty much this room or the one right beyond here is an ideal place to pickpocket him. So he's not here yet, which means I have a little bit of time to loot the place.
I shall smite anyone who doth challenge the builder's church.
Here we have a lot of loot. There is also a blackjack. In case you want one. There we go, that should be everything in this room. Total 4294. Actually, I'm gonna double check.
Doth something stir? I shall return thee to dust.
Yeah. Yeah, that's everything.
Which scripture was
Here in the dining room, we also have a bunch of loot. There we go, 4919. So over this way is just a balcony, don't have to go here. There's a statue. Religious symbol. And another one. Total 5254. So that builder guard should be here any moment now. So this just leads back to the staircase. So that's the door we took a little earlier.
That's the builder, don't y'all.
Yeah, I think that's him. Yep. Okay, good. So you can identify him by his armor, which looks different from all the other builder guards. Okay, missed him. Gotta be a little closer. There we go, the sewer scheme. So I don't think he looks different enough from the rest of them. Could have maybe used a priest model. Should really make him stand out. But it doesn't really matter. So here is a purse and a bag of gems. 54.29 and the readable. Remember that dirt guy from cell block 2 that ran away last year? Guess who we found today? Not 300 paces away from here near a small creek. Looks like he broke both his legs trying to climb down some steep slopes and then froze over the winter. He had with him those jewels you reported stolen, but Randall and Letton decided to split it among the three of us and keep our mouths shut about it. I went along with it, but I know they are important to you and don't feel comfortable with this. I like hanging around with them, but I'm just not a thief. I'll give you my share, and I promise to testify against them if you decide to bring this matter to our superiors, Brother Lucas. So now we're gonna backtrack a little bit, loot the rest of the second floor, and then we're pretty much done. So there we have another cell block. This one doesn't have anything of interest, so I'm not gonna go there. This, I think, is the High Priest's bedroom. We have 1, 2, 3 pieces of loot. 56.94. It is my belief that those cursed mushrooms are to blame for the increasingly restless demeanor of those consuming them. I've seen them, prisoners and builders alike, bringing cartloads of them from the ravine and the mines. They command a high price and are the prime interest behind the betting schemes corrupting our own. Some immediate action is required lest they become our undoing. You bet, Father. I think there is a guy standing right there. Yep. So I'll have to wait.
My flesh is but raw metal. I am forged by the trials of the Master Builder.
Made a little noise there, so I thought I alerted someone. So 3 bottles of wine, total 6,024. That's the other entrance to that cell block. It has nothing of interest. It's just a closet. This is a stairwell down to the first floor. So we were here a little earlier. Space. And the candlestick, 6139. And this should take us to the library. So, just gonna double check. Okay, gonna make my last real save probably. And let's see. Okay, that's gonna be my way down. First piece of loot, total 60 to 19. And now I want to show you a couple more readables in the last cell block here. But I'm probably gonna
all work is
reload after this, because there is no loot here. Remember that guy from cell block 1 who would never lose a single time at cards? It turns out he was a cheater all along. We beat him up good when we found out, but he still wouldn't tell us where he hid our stuff. He had to be put in an isolation cell, lest he get lynched. We raided his cell, yet found no trace of the loot. Jerry is sure he keeps all the stuff with himself at all times, but there is no way he could do that. Not with that much. So this must be in reference to us. And that's pretty interesting. So we're finding things out about our player character as we play the mission. You don't see that too often, do you?
Something stir?
Do you still have some with you? Give me one and I'll pay you back later, I swear. Once he spits out the key, I'm going back to the ravine to look for more. Okay. There's a base, total 6294. I forgot that that guard turns around there. So let me actually wait.
My flesh is but raw metal. I am forged by the trials of the Master Builder.
Right, and this will take us to the kitchen on the first floor, which is the last place we haven't looted yet. That was horrible timing.
Does
Let me just wait here.
At least the streets are pretty quiet.
fat nobleman in a warm mansion and make
I'm not
twice
sure if
as
there is
much.
any significance to this maid having a guard's voice. Maybe. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of loot here. And finally, the stuff inside of here. There we go. 64, 99 loot. That's all the loot in the mission. And here is the giant mushroom. Looks like someone is admiring it.
At least the streets are pretty quiet.
Oh, he's
Doth something stir?
Guess I'll wait.
It's been how many months and they still never tell me anything. Huh?
I'm still not used to AIs kind of seeing through walls sometimes in the dark mode. I mean, not literally, but you can be right around the corner
Wasting my
And
minutes walking the streets for hours.
they're gonna notice you.
I could be working for some fat nobleman in a warm mansion
I don't
and
care
make
what he
twice
says.
as much.
Okay, so the kitchen is nice to loot last, because we're basically right where we need to be to finish the mission. Just take this elevator down.
Some
And we're right where we started. So it's a bit tricky to pass this corridor, so I'm gonna go around.
I'm doing my job. boys.
Oh, come on, I should have saved. As always, the closer to the end of the mission, the more impatient I get.
Yep, still a while to go. What was that?
Are you kidding me?
Still a while to go.
Was that this guy?
I could use an elder.
Damn this tooth.
I never knew he patrolled through here. Always got lucky. With him being somewhere away. Okay. There's a whole bunch of holy water, which is actually useless in this mission, and less readable. It's all the holy water we could muster. Let's hope it'll be enough to ward them off for a while when they decide to attack.
A noise. Yep, doing my job. Does I'm a bit thirsty.
Okay, please sit there for a couple more seconds. I swear I never had trouble escaping here. Okay. So down there, is I assume dead prisoners. And the builders are afraid that these guys will come back to life as zombies, but at least not right now. And here we are. Mission complete. In 34 minutes, 47 seconds, I've saved 36 times and reloaded probably twice as much. Got all the loot, 64.99, and picked one pocket. And I got 0 suspicions, 0 searches, 0 sightings, which I guess technically makes this a supreme success. Wasn't really going for that, but I'll take it. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I know Spoonman has released another dark mode mission called The Ravine. I have no plans on recording a let's play of that one anytime soon. Instead, I'm gonna go back to Thief for the next video, and next time I'm gonna play Into the Odd for Thief 2 20th anniversary contest. So hope to see you guys then, and until then, take care.